hello track gang, and welcome to episode 13 for 2022. It happens to be Monday, April the 4th of 2022. Welcome to the Boeville in Newtown. Again, I'm Ray. Hi. I just got finished working under, I'm sure you're going to see halos. I'm sorry, I can't do much about that from this angle. I just got finished under the layout, wiring up the Deadtrack switches for the two hidden yards, and now comes the fun part, sort of. I guess it depends on how you want to look at it. At least I'm not crawling around underneath the layout now, but I've got to actually solder the feeder wires to the track. So that's what I'm going to do, and because of the fact that, you all have seen me do this before, there's really no point in showing it again. But what I will show you is this. Let me go ahead and just swing over here a minute. Hopefully it'll show up, but let me move that out of the way. Yep, that's hot. We've got one feeder wire here. This one here is for track 4. There's track 3, track 2, track 1, so that's R1, R2, R3, R4, and then over here we have basically pretty much the same thing. You've got H4, H3, H2, and H1. So that's how they'll get wired. The only thing I've got to do is just, like I said, solder the wire to the track, and we should be good. So I'm going to go ahead and get on that, and we'll be back. Alright, I have no idea what's going on with my soldering iron, but everything's wired in. I've got an issue with the Richmond side. Somehow or other I flipped the wiring on the switches. So that means I've got to go back and either rewire it underneath or just move the switches on the, or toggle switches on the panel. I'm just going to move the toggle switches on the panel. It'll be easier. It's one nut. Pull the nut off, push it through, take the other nut off, push it through, switch them, put them back. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to end up doing with that. So that's the end of this part of the project. Now I've just got to clean everything up over here and clean the track, and then I can get into the next thing, which is actually going to be putting some drawer knobs onto the drawers for the under the layout staging. I've got the framework back underneath the layout and in place. I just haven't brought the drawers over yet because I need to make some modifications to those. So I'm going to clean up this mess, call it a night, because I've been at this for 2.5 hours. It shouldn't have taken me that long to solder, but for some reason, I don't know if these rails were just that dirty that they weren't accepting the solder, or if I've got an actual issue with the tip of this soldering iron, which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I haven't switched it out yet, so it's probably due to be redone, or I should say swapped out. Of course, I'm not going to do that right now because it's hot, but I do have like 4 or 5 other tips in here for the soldering iron, so we'll do that. Actually, it looks like I used one of them already. So, at any rate, probably for the same freaking problem of not being able to solder correctly with the freaking thing. So, like I said, I'm going to clean up this mess, and we'll be back at it in a bit. I found one issue last night. I've already fixed that. But I came across something else that's just slightly annoying, and I should have thought about this, and I didn't. I've talked about how Deadtrack works in the past. It's an old DC concept of where you isolate one rail in a section, and you run power to it through a toggle switch. So that way you can stop a train if it's going to stop in that particular spot all the time. again, it's a wonderful concept that works. I'm using it over in the yard, and I'm using it here. There's only one issue. With these tracks, there's no power past the isolation point. So what that means is when I've got a longer locomotive, like I've got on the northbound right now, and I'm not even sure that this is going to show up, but this is northbound right now, and the wheel set is back too far to where the rail, because what I did is I isolated the rail on both sides. Well, like I said, there's no power down the track. So what I've got to do is on each one of these sections, I've got to pull out the backside isolating joiner. So that way, when I turn power on to, you know, let's say we're going to northbound, and we go over to the other side, when I flip the toggle switch, it's got to power not just the section of track, but it's going to power the whole thing. So it's one of the things I'm going to have to fix. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to run these two trains out of here, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, that was a you know, hindsight's always 20/20 type of deal. Yeah, well, it was a great idea, but I wasn't thinking about the fact that, you know, when you isolate that whole rail, there's no power past that isolation point. So as long as I've got the forward isolation point far enough away from the turnout, then I shouldn't have to worry about an overrun or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to get these two trains out of here. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, according to the schedule, there is one more train, and it's two mixed freights, one north, one south, that I've got to go. In theory, I could run those. Do I have to run those? Not necessarily. I can run these two passenger trains, and then I can move on to whatever is going to be next. Because I've pretty much, well, right now I can't pull freight cars out because all the freight cars are sitting over on the table, because I've still got to put them back in the drawer system. So let me run these two passenger trains out of here, and then I'm going to fix the yards, and then I'm going to go ahead and we're going to work on the drawer system a little bit more. So we'll be back. Yeah, it would be helpful if I had that. So it took me longer to do what I wanted to do, or needed to do, and not necessarily what I wanted to do. I did put the handles, or the knobs, on the drawers for the hidden yards. I'm not going to show that in this video. I think this one here is already too long, and it's about to get a little longer because it's shout out time. I've got a whole bunch of channels that I've subscribed to, and I've got a few people that have subscribed to me. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into that. First things first, I'm going to go over the folks that I've picked up along the way, or that I've found along the way, and you'll have to pardon me with the glasses, but I got to be able to see what I'm doing over here. Alright, so my first sub, or the first channel that I had subbed to in the last month is a fellow by the name of John Feister. I hope I pronounced that correctly. He's not a sub to me yet, but I did sub to him. He's got 147 subscribers. I'm going to have links to everybody in the description below. The next channel, and I think a lot of folks have already gotten this one in, and that's the South-Down switching layout. That was another one that I subscribed to in the last month. Leo the Beast. He's got 144 subscribers. I'm sorry, let me back up. Southdown's got 380. Leo the Beast has 144. I have a feeling that he's just getting started, obviously, with 140 some subscribers. Top Railroad is another one that I just started following. He's got some rather interesting scenes that he's working on. He's got 3,440 subscribers. Another one is Dubai Trains. There was some interesting things with this one. He actually did a tutorial on building under the benchwork manual throws for switches. Something I'm going to be looking into because of the fact that it's one of the things I like to do. And I just noticed something else that he's got up here. One of my former co-workers knows the person that actually owns the Allagash Model Railroad, and he's actually got a link in here to the Allagash Model Railroad. So that's pretty cool. So that's Dubai Trains. The next one is Mark Bridgewater. He's got 289 subscribers. He models the Feather River route, and he's been working on this railroad for 25 years. And I tell you what, I just found this one the other night, and it's awesome. So go check him out. He's only got 289 subscribers. N-Gauge Shelf Layouts. This fellow's got 851 subscribers. When you first hit his homepage, it doesn't say he's got any content, but if you click on videos, he's got plenty in there where he's built structures, and he's building a fairly small shelf layout, obviously. I believe he might be from England as well, or at least he's overseas. The other one that I picked up along the way was the HO Scale Union Pacific Railroad Evanston Stub. Now, this is kind of unique because apparently he knows Roy Smith. Obviously, Roy Smith does the N-Scale Evanston Sub, and this fellow here is doing the Union Pacific and HO Scale. And he's getting started, and I tell you what, it's a massive layout. He has got a full basement, and he's basically filling almost every square inch with either aisleways or railroads. So it's pretty cool to go in there and take a look at. Now, let's get over to my subs, the folks that have subscribed to me in the past month. Starting back on March the 5th, we've got Brian Rock Railfan. On the 15th, we've got Dave Harper, H-A-P-U-R. Like I said, all of these links are going to be down below in the description. Zach's Trains and the Brick Lab. So, like I said, everybody will be in the description. Go check them out. If you haven't subscribed to them, go check them out and subscribe to them, because there's some neat stuff out there. So that's going to basically call it for this vlog. So you all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. We will see ya.